Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the CKC channel. I'm your host, Grandmaster Kelvin Klaassen. And we have a fantastic show lined up for you. It's Breaking Boundaries on 64 Squares. And I'd like to introduce my special guest. Um, he's been on recently on the Reflections. He gave us a lot of interesting stuff to think about. Dr. Boa interviewed him, and now he's here to show us some action on the board. So he's originally from Mitchell's Plain, and okay, currently he's residing in Italy. I met him when I came to Cape Town after school, and I started playing chess in Cape Town. And I think the first couple of times we played, it was not so pretty on the board. I had to adjust very quickly, and so he became SA Closed champion in 2003. He became SA Open champion in 1999, 2005, and 2007. He got his IM title in 2004 after playing in African individuals. And he's also played more than 100 games at the Olympiad for South Africa and scoring a double GM norm and completing his norms actually at the Olympiad at Istanbul. Um, and Finally at the African individuals, he in 2014 he actually won the African individuals, obtaining his Grandmaster title. And after that, he also went on to the zonals in Zambia in 2017, also winning that. So I'd like to introduce you guys to South Africa's first Grandmaster, Kenny Solomon. Welcome, Kenny, to the show.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Calvin. That's a nice intro you did there.
I had to actually shorten it a bit. I had to cut it, make it a bit smaller so that the show isn't too long. So
but it's funny because so I remember our games that you mentioned wasn't pretty, but okay, you also bruised me in some of the games. You beat me in some of those games. I have to mention that.
Thanks. You know what? I don't know if it's our first ever, but there was this one game that like stuck in my brain. It must have been one of my first ones against you. It's some random open tournament in Cape Town, but you played the Fallador, and you took on D4 somewhere early in the middle game, and just take on D4, knight B6, D5. And I thought I didn't see this opening ever, and I was just like, what's this opening? And you just smashed me, and I was like, okay, I learned something new. So that's one of the games that I can remember. But
no, I remember you gave me quite a hard time over the board in some games as well. And you beat me in 2007 in the SA Closed, if I remember well. Because I was pressing too much for black.
I think that was my first SA Closed. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise to myself as well.
Yeah, you played like a scholarly man, Calvin.
I had to catch up with you guys. So
Anyway,
Kenny, before we just start, I'd just like to welcome everybody in the chat box. Good morning, Boom Shaka, Dr. Queenie, welcome, Reflector, welcome. Boom Shaka says, good morning, gentlemen, looking forward to this triple exclamation. Dr. Queenie says, hello, Calvin and Kenny, looking forward to the session. Reflector says, good morning, Calvin and GM Kenny, looking forward to the broadcast. So guys, welcome to the show. If you are new to the show, don't forget to press the follow button and type in your messages and questions in the chat box. So this is a special show we have here where GM Kenny will be showing us some of his games. And and you feel free to ask questions, and we just want to creep up a bit into his mind and see what he was thinking during these games. So Kenny, what's the first game that we are going to look at?
I think I should start with my first big scalp, GM scalp, which was back in 2010 in Cento, my first tournament or international 9-round tournament in Italy. So once again, thank you for having me on the show, Calvin. And
it's brilliant to have you on, man.
Very good morning to all our viewers, and I hope. I hope to entertain with these games, and to hope everyone. There's something that they can that they can learn,
Yes.
and enjoy also. I mean, it's entertaining, and I mean the games selected, they're not really, I would say, not high quality, or I'm not really. It's not actually. To be honest, the truth is that I'm not so proud of these games. When I look at it from an objective point of view.
Okay.
But I think it's very instructive also, the style of
Yes.
play, and what it took to get me my first GM. So I've highlighted 3 games to examine. The first one is my first big GM scalp, and I chose this game also because of the style of play,
Aha.
which is quite similar to the games that where in the tournament where I actually achieved my very first GM norm.
Okay, lovely.
The
So we
intensity of the struggle and style of play,
we
which maybe we can say like European grandmasters maybe, or players in Europe are not accustomed to
yes.
uh, our style of play in Africa.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah,
And your
and
opponent is okay. You can tell
it,
us who's
my,
your opponent.
yeah, my opponent is Ivan Sokolov. Yeah, so Ivan Sokolov is a well-known grandmaster in the world.
Big master.
I
Yes,
think
I
in
think.
1999 or 98, I'm not sure which year it was,
Yeah.
but it weekends Leonardo, he beat Kasparov
Nice.
in
Nice.
the
I mean,
Namso Indian.
wow. I mean,
Yeah,
anybody
he's
that's going.
also written. I actually studied a nice Bru game book from
Yeah.
by him back in 1998 or
Okay.
nine, when I was still staying with my brother Maxwell in Pretoria. I would
Yes.
visit Maxwell like for 3 months in Pretoria, and I would just so that I can play some tournaments, in Johannesburg area, in Pretoria. I used to play Centurion Open. I used to play Standard Bank tournament, which Article Busy organized.
Okay.
And also there was also a very nice tournament of Joe. What's his name? Mahom. Uh,
So
can't now remember
Mahamole.
how to
Yes.
pronounce the
Yes.
name.
Joe. We all know Joe.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. He used to organize this tournament, and I used to play in all these tournaments, and
Okay.
yeah, try to take home the prize money there.
Nice.
Anyway, so I used to study Sokolov's book back there in 1999, 1998, and it was a book on pawn structures,
Okay.
and I learned quite a lot.
Wow.
And yeah, I suddenly have to play him.
I was
I think
gonna
it was
say
like,
now, wow, it must be what a feeling you actually look. You were reading this book or this guy that wrote the book, and now you're
yeah,
busy. Wow, that's nice. And in fact, Kenny, I did look up Sokolov a bit. I mean, I already when I saw the name Sokolov, it's a big name. I think he got his GM title in the year I was born, 1987, and
oh,
yeah, I think then when was it? In 1980 that he won the Yugoslav championships
yeah,
because he's originally born in Bosnia, but he's a Dutch player now.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
in 1990, was it 1995? He won
Hmm.
the Dutch championships.
Okay.
95 and another year, I think 97 or something like that. So I
Mhm.
mean, and then of course he actually won the first European Rapid Championships, I think in
Wow.
2000.
Oh,
So
I didn't know all this
yes,
information.
yes. So I mean,
Okay,
I'm
that's
looking forward
nice.
to this. And
Nice
I don't know.
research.
I did check up. I've on these games, Kenny. It seems to be a general theme with these games that we're gonna see. And I just want to give my name for this game. The viewers must see if it's a appropriate name or not. I don't know if you're a James Bond fan, Kenny, or if you watched
No,
it,
I've
but
seen some
I've
fun. I've
I've
seen.
I'd like to call this game stirred not shaken. Stirred not shaken. So I
Oh,
think your opponent is gonna will stir up some problems there, but
yeah,
uh,
you did.
but
You
I think you weren't shaken. So let's
Okay.
see.
Oh, nice one.
Okay, let's
Anyway,
go.
so yeah, so okay. I had a look at his games. The thing is, he plays a lot of systems,
Yeah.
so it is difficult to prepare. So basically, I stay within my own opening repertoire.
Okay.
If I win knight f3, I can't remember exactly why, but usually I start with the move d4. But knight f3, maybe when I use the move knight f3, it means that I'm trying to avoid something.
Okay.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
avoid some lines. So
yeah. I also
okay,
use
knight
it
f3 is
sometimes.
also quite committal. For example, knight f3, if you play king's Indian and you play some lines like h3 or
Samish or something.
Samish, you can't go back, you know.
Yeah.
So he went d5 and d4. Okay, so I mean, as a lower rated player, I'm quite happy with the structure with white. So my objective is just to, I mean, this is my very first tournament in Italy.
Okay, your first tournament in Italy.
So first 9-round tournament. I think I've played a 5-round before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So e6, c4. And I was curious, where did he want to go? Rush. I was surprised that he played the rush.
Okay.
And okay, now in this case, you have to remember what did he prepare? You know, what did he look at? So okay, I think this is what I normally play. Nothing special, nothing new. Knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g2, all normal moves. No.
Yeah.
That's what I have some few games you can find on the database.
When I looked at this opening, I mean, I myself have played this, and I think we've encountered the same opponent in this. Maybe you've had much more experience than me, but I think you maybe had a couple of games with Watu, eh? This type of opening.
Yeah, I think in SA Close 2005 or no 2009. Yeah, we played this.
I've also had quite a few in this line.
What to beat me in the SA Open in 2000 and was it 8? Yeah, 2008 I think SA Close what to beat me, and in 2009 SA Open what to beat me. In 2009 SA Close I managed to win. Yeah, the last game. Yeah.
Cool.
Played on the system.
Cool.
So okay, those games are on the database.
Like some d4.
This is all theory. Yeah. Nothing. I was so surprised. Like I thought, I mean, it's 2-6 and he's going to beat me with the system, you know. But then I also remember that Kasparov used this line with black in his match against Smyslov, and he actually managed to win.
Yes.
A game or two with this system. So the system is, if you know it really well and if you understand the position, it can be dangerous. It can be a good weapon, but you have to play really well because there's a lot of responsibility when you have an isolated pawn.
Especially with black as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you have to be very resourceful, full of energy, and very tactically sharp. You know, and I think that's also why maybe Watu chose a system.
Yes.
You know, Watu used to play King's Indian.
Yeah.
And then switch to the Tarash, but the system is it's very difficult to beat a solid player as white, you know.
Yeah, nowadays so not so popular. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I was already thinking, okay, normally here I play Queen A4, okay, they went Bishop G4, but in the database, my games, my opponents play the main move Rook E8.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I normally go Queen A4.
Okay.
And this, I think I've played this a few times against Steenkamp and against Cecile van der Merwe, SA Close 2005.
Okay.
Which I won. So it's quite interesting that what is the approach of the GM here is that he's trying to he noticed something in my game and he noticed I like the setup.
Yes.
Queen A4. So maybe he's trying to with Bishop G4. He knew I will still go for Queen A4 setup.
Okay.
So I went for Queen H3, Bishop here, and now Queen A4. I still go for the same setup, but you know my openings is nothing to boast of, nothing special.
Okay.
And here we can see he's trying to exploit a habit that I have, you know, of putting this queen on A4 and Rook FD1 setup.
Yes.
And in this way, he took me out of my preparation, out of what I wanted to accomplish, you know, what I've gained, you know.
Okay.
So also sometimes the GM, they can try to give you a position you've never played before.
Yes.
So now I'm completely on my own, you know.
Yeah.
And when you're on your own, yeah, you have to improvise. You know? So okay, Queen D7, he's attack H3, King H2, A6, and I decided, okay, I have to take the bishop.
Okay.
Because there are some differences here in this position, and I didn't feel too comfortable with. If I play Rook FD1 as usual, maybe you can play B5.
B5.
Queen C2, yeah, B5. Let's say play Rook FD1. You can play B5 maybe. No. Queen B3 has got knight A5, Queen C2. I wasn't feeling too comfortable with this
Yes.
knight coming, you know. So
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
I get you.
so this was his prep because he knew I would go for the setup, you know.
Okay.
So when player prepares for a lower rated player, he's not basically trying to refute your opening. He's just looking, maybe he can be looking at your setup and see what setup you
Uh-huh.
like to go for,
Interesting.
and he tries to make a slight change where your setup don't work anymore. You know?
That's quite cool what you're saying, Kenny, because I mean a lot of times when we're preparing here at home, we're just thinking about, okay, I want to refute your line. I'm looking for specific moves with the engine and I'm
Yeah,
pounding and pounding.
yeah,
Meantime, you should be maybe looking at it from a broader picture, looking at your
yeah,
opponent, what he prefers, what setups does he like, and
yeah,
see how you
yeah.
can kind of tickle him in
Exactly.
the wrong way and so on.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
interesting.
exactly. And actually, his preparation worked because he managed to get the advantage. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I remember in the Power of Smyslov game that if you've seen a lot of classic games, you have something to how you say, you can fall back on. So I remember Smyslov in some line took that bishop on e6.
Uh-huh.
He had the structure, but
Didn't
okay, I thought,
didn't
okay, now I will have the two bishops.
Didn't Rubenstein also have a game like this, a famous game where he took on e6 and later on the bishop came to h3, maybe stuff
Yeah,
like
but
that?
it's completely
Yeah, it's
different. It's
completely
completely
different,
different.
but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just remembering this knight e6 business.
yeah.
Okay,
So
but
I thought, okay, I wasn't comfortable, so I took the bishop, knowing that now I have two bishops.
yeah,
Maybe I fell into his home preparation. Okay, and you have the sense of insecurity when you play,
yeah,
psychologically. So I thought, okay, let me take the bishop, and now it's, even though he's better, I told myself, okay, if you look at the computer evaluation, it's still maybe slightly better for white or equal.
okay,
But this is not important for me during the game. What's important is that the psychology. Like during the game, I told myself, okay, I'm in his prep. I trust that I'm in his preparation, and he
yeah,
played very quickly. And I used quite a lot of. I burned quite amount of time deciding which direction to take. So
yeah,
I went for this direction to take the bishop and have two bishops, knowing that I'm worse. Okay, I'm not really worse. Maybe I'm even slightly better, but you have to know how to play the position. But because I don't know the position, I've never studied this exact
yes,
position. You have to improvise. So
yeah,
I have to be practical. So I thought, okay, I'm worse. I have two bishops and I have to defend. Yeah. So I'm ready on the psychological on the back foot. He's got
okay,
the psychological advantage, but at the same time, I know that when I have two bishops, and if he makes one mistake, the evaluation will change
aha,
drastically. It's not like a position where you're worse, and if your opponent makes a mistake, you equalize. But when you have two bishops and the position is like semi-open, like open like here, and if you make some mistake,
this
the
can,
evaluation changes.
yes, yes, yes,
So there's already I unbalanced the position by taking the bishop. Okay, he's got hanging pawns and he's gonna have some initiative, but he needs to be precise.
mm.
So this I understood. Okay,
Okay,
when rook a d1,
yeah.
trying to stop d4. Maybe I could play rook f d1, but I thought, okay, if my queen is going to come back to c2 and it's going to have to go back to b1,
Yeah,
so there's always this question of which rook to put. So I understand he's going to play b5, knight e5, knight c4. Okay, so when he plays b5, queen goes to c2. If there's a knight b4 or knight e5, I will have to drop back my queen to b1.
and then you don't
So
want the rook locked on a1, yeah,
yeah,
okay,
you don't have the rook locked on a1. And what's most important here is that black, I mean, you feel unsure, and this occurs quite often. Maybe in my case, maybe 80%. Even when I'm preparing for my opponents, they somehow surprise me.
yeah,
So yeah, I thought, okay, uh, important thing is that there's no forced win for black, and I'm
aha,
happy.
okay,
And I have two bishops, and I can defend and resist.
yes,
Okay, and also I've played quite a number of tournaments before. I've faced some stiff opposition, and you get used to playing these players, and you know that they make mistakes. So it's very
yes.
important to know that they make mistakes. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's maybe one of the the biggest thing that one should learn. Kenny, growing up, I was quite isolated there in Somerset East, in the Eastern Cape, and I don't know what the general feeling was from the rest of the juniors or people in Cape Town and all over the country. But me reading about GMs and going through
Yeah.
games and stuff, I always had this mindset that the Grandmaster is like invincible. He's so
Ah,
strong, and I mean, especially because as I had no Grandmaster,
yeah.
so just the,
Okay.
I so if you have that mindset that this guy
Mhm.
can't make mistakes, then how you gonna beat someone like that?
Yeah,
So
they
so
do make mistakes.
yeah, so
And
that's
what
quite
I
nice to
learned,
hear.
yeah, what I learned like early, also, like, when you get used to playing bad positions, when you are worse, you work harder over the board. No? That's what Lasker said. And what helps also is to, when you have a worse position and your opponent has some initiative or advantage, and sometimes you see the best move for him. You see the best move for him, and when he doesn't make it, it gives you more confidence.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So this is actually what I like. So
Okay.
um, maybe there can be, maybe not the best move, but a move that worries you, and then you're relieved when he doesn't make the move.
Then that makes you
So
stronger even
yeah.
psychologically. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, okay, it goes b5. I expected that. Queen c2 was all normal, and he goes rook c8 very quickly. Queen b1, and we can see the queen drops back, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to have this let's say, diagonal. No?
Yeah.
Okay, so queen b1, and I have, okay. But I mean, I'm quite passive. I'm not doing anything. I mean, usually the theme is when you look at this, uh, we make this arrow go away.
You can just click
Sorry.
somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, where's this board now? Okay, here it is. So sorry,
Okay.
I jumped
Just
the gun here a little bit.
Queen B1. Yeah.
Yeah, queen b1. So what I wasn't happy about was the situation of my bishop here on e3. You know,
Okay.
and also when you play against hanging pawns, you have to remember the general principle. What is the middle game situation? The middle game situation or middle game theme here is I have two bishops and my opponent has hanging pawns. And usually when you play, the typical way to play against this is the plan of playing f4, like f4 and f5 to break the chain and to make d5 isolated, or to break with e4, you know. Okay, but to play f4 have some drawbacks because I weaken some squares now.
Yeah.
And also g3, if I play f4, f5, he's going to have this bishop come to d6, and he's going to, sorry, bishop d6, and he's going
D6.
to, I'm trying to make this diagonal, bishop d6 and bishop h2. So my king, I mean, I'm not going to be feeling comfortable with my king
Yes.
on h2 on this diagonal, b8, h2 diagonal. Okay, so my plan is to play, just to wait for opening. Okay,
Okay.
so my position is not pleasant, but at the same time, you have to also understand that it's not easy for the opponent um, to find the best move.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
for instance, I mean, these central pawns, they look nice and chunky, but I mean, you can't even expand easily because
no, you can't.
then it becomes an
Yeah, they are
issue,
not mobile.
and you
Yeah,
don't
they're not
wanna.
mobile. But the
Yeah.
problem in this position is, okay, he's got half F and C and the C file, but is his knights. His knights can be dangerous.
Uh-huh.
Okay, his knights can be dangerous. His knight can come to E5, C4, and some tactics on G3, G4. You start to see ghosts.
Yes. Yeah.
So what to do? So when the position is so difficult and you're struggling to find a move, you have to throw the ball in his court and see what he does. So okay, I decided that I'm gonna stop b4. You went bishop d6. Sorry. Okay, I went e3,
D3. Okay.
just waiting and see what he wants to do. He goes knight e7. I think this was the mistake he made. Yeah, I mean the
Hmm.
knight doesn't want to go to e7. He could go maybe knight e5
95,
or
knight
knight c4.
C4.
But I think a better move even here was just to go queen e8
Okay, what's the
and queen
idea there?
h5.
Queen
Yeah,
H5.
with the idea of queen h5, just
Then
activate the queen because you
then
don't
there's
want to
some
have
also
this
some
alignment
issues.
with my rook on this d file. Yeah. So
Okay.
queen e8, and then I will just have to find a move. I can't remember what I had planned, but I think maybe I'll probably get my king to g1. He doesn't have a white square bishop. And you can go queen h5. And I think black is just better.
So that's
Yeah,
maybe
black is just
another way.
better.
Yeah, that you
Yeah,
could have
another way to
applied pressure.
play. Yeah, but when you play over the board, you don't have 100 critical moments. A critical moment is when you think 10 minutes. And you exert yourself. So he was playing quickly, and bishop d6 also natural. And he made a quick decision because I was low on time already.
Okay.
Okay. And that also influences the opponent to can influence his way of thinking when I'm running low on time, and he thinks I'm just going to crumble. So now I'm not feeling comfortable with my king on h2, and the g3 square is weak. So that can be the reason why he went knight e7 with the idea of knight f5. Yeah, it's very tempting to bring the knight to f5 and with ideas of
throwing
h5,
the pieces
h4
towards the king side.
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about. The guy is starting to stir up trouble, Kenny. Remember what I said?
Yeah.
Stirred, not shaken. That's my theme.
Yeah.
Remember, stirred, not shaken.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, good morning, Laparot, and thanks to Cole for following. Welcome, guys. So knight e7, and then what happened?
Yeah. So I found a way to continue the struggle. I don't have to find it's obvious that knight's coming to f5 is going to hit the bishop. So I went bishop d2 with the idea of knight h5 and bishop e1.
Sure. Okay.
So I just tuck in the bishop on e1 and solidly defend the g3. So the king side is airtight. There's no knockout blow happening. And my opponent already went in the wrong direction. And we must remember that white has the two bishops. And the two bishops they have tremendous potential. Yeah.
Maybe something, Kenny. Sorry, I'm talking a lot here, but maybe something that that is also an interesting psychological factor in this type of in chess in general is, black should feel like he's doing better, and sometimes when you're just pressing and like you're making bishop e1, and you basically saying, if black can't come up with something that makes him feel like he's winning now, at some point he's going to feel frustrated, and he might end up making mistakes, or he might just throw away everything because he can't find something tangible. So
he's basically throwing left and right hooks, and he's exposing himself to body shots later, no?
So it's interesting. You're absorbing, right?
Yeah, but okay, it's also only moves if you look at it from another angle. Like I have to protect g3. So knight e7 is the wrong plan. So what's instructive here that you shouldn't underestimate your opponent, and even when you have the advantage and your opponent's low on time, I think the lesson here is that you should still search the absolute best way. Especially, you're still going to have your critical moment, and here he missed it. You should have played queen f7, queen h5, or queen e8, queen h5, or knight e5. And he should have think 10, 15 minutes and decide which is the best. And then I will have more difficulty. But because he made the mistake and quickly, because it was tempting to quickly and to apply pressure on my time, I'm not advising to go into time trouble, but it was because of a decision I made earlier. Okay, it took some time. Now it was easier for me to play bishop d2 and bishop e1, and I'm just protecting my pawns. It's very important to have your king stand next to your pawns. When your king is on g1, you have f2, g2, h2, or h3. Okay, if your pawns go to the third rank, you must lift up your king to the second rank. The king needs to be touching your pawns. So okay, and when I put bishop on e1, everything is covered, and now we know that the move e4 is coming at some point. And I think white already has a very big advantage because he's got two bishops, and black has the hanging pawns. So my opponent was maybe, how you say, he was going for the king, and he lost his positional orientation. So that is what can happen. So yeah. So, okay, what happened? Rook f6 is trying to play rook c f8, and
he's continuing the assault. Yeah, the onslaught.
Yeah,
trying something.
So I went queen d3 because I'm low on time and it just felt like a nice move and I just
Queen
made
needs
it.
to come closer, yeah.
Yeah, queen
Double up.
d3, rook f8. Okay, I think I had other options. Okay, I went king g1. It's time to get off that diagonal because it's threatening knight takes g3.
Kenny,
And
it
rook takes
seems
f1.
I mean, your play here, the type of defense. It almost it feels to me like you this guy. You know those specialists they bring in to dismantle a bomb. You're just trying to. Wow,
Yeah,
it's like you're trying to avoid. And this guy's just throwing everything at you, and you're making
yeah,
these
I'm just
delicate moves.
surviving, man.
Bishop e1, king g1.
Calvin,
Wow, I
no, I'm
I
just
would have
surviving,
I would
man.
have thrown in something long time ago and
No,
crumbled.
it's time to survive here. So I'm just weathering the storm.
Yeah,
And when I made the decision, if you go back, when I made the decision to capture the
yeah,
bishop, I knew he's going to have an attack on my king, and I have to defend. But
yeah,
I also knew that I have a practical chance that if he overextends, positionally, it's gone. So I have a chance.
mm,
So that's basically what happened here. Bishop d2, bishop e1 is a very nice maneuver to protect f2 g3. And yeah, I'm trying to just to because you doubt yourself. You're facing a super GM.
yeah.
You believe you're facing, as you said before, invincible player. But at the same time, um, uh, okay, you have your chances. I mean, I think it was Karpov who said that if you don't believe in victory, you have no business sitting the chessboard.
Yes.
So every time you have to believe that you can win.
Yeah.
So I couldn't win with superior play. I'm not stronger than my opponent. My opponent is a superior player, but I can win by counter blow.
Mm.
By him making mistakes, by him overreaching, and I can exploit. I have enough capacity, power to exploit mistakes if my opponent makes them overreaching.
Okay.
And knight takes e6 was a good decision just to unbalance the
Yes.
position.
Yeah.
So g1, he went knight f5, and
F5.
yeah, or already if you look at complete evaluation, yeah, it's already big advantage for white.
Okay.
E4 is coming. E4 is coming. So now he's desperate. Knight f5. I went e3. I could maybe play e4 here. E4 was probably the move. Maybe e4, even g4. I was low on time and I
Yeah,
was
of
scared.
course.
My g4 is got knight f4. So I thought, okay, that's why I went e3, but maybe e4
Yeah.
was stronger.
Hmm.
Maybe e4.
Interesting. Yeah. Dr. Queenie said Bishop E1 earlier as a nice move all the way from E3. And King also says good morning, Calvin and Kenny. Welcome, King
Okay,
Ulster.
thanks.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand the time pressure. I mean, if you've been defending so long, maybe you want to play a bit more solid here.
Yeah, when you're low on time, you can't calculate. You just
Yeah.
have to play safe moves. So e3 was safe, and the valuation doesn't change because you have two bishops, and these are all, as Steinitz taught, long-term advantages.
Yes.
So when you have long-term advantage, you don't need to rush anything. Just take your time. So e3, keep it solid, gain time, make another move, get to move 40. Survival, and the game will play itself later on.
Yes.
If I knew if I make move 40, it's over.
Then you can
So,
actually utilize your position. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So
I
my
mean,
opponent basically he misplaced his pieces and went rook g6 and g4. It's time to do something.
and E3
So
kind of made
g4
sense now because E3 is covering the F4
makes
square.
sense. Yeah.
So there's no knight F4 now. Okay.
Yeah. If he doesn't play rook g6, g4 is still coming. So
Mm.
maybe you should play knight e7, but knight e7, I have even knight e4, or
Knight
even pawn
E4.
e4,
And G4,
pawn
I mean, the
e4,
knight
knight
on
e4.
H5 is still stranded pretty much.
Yeah, the knight is a bit out here, but I think e4 is good now.
E4
I mean,
also looks
it's
nice, yeah.
basically lost now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically lost. So
Okay.
this happens. This game shows that GMs do make mistakes, even super GMs.
Mm.
They are also influenced by factors not on the chessboard. So I think he was influenced by my slow moving over the board, me struggling in the opening, falling into his preparation, and also the mistake he made. Also, he missed a critical moment.
Yeah.
And knight e7. Sometimes you think that anything wins. You're just gonna rush me on the king. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You still have to apply the correct procedures, So bishop e1 was good. I think this won me the game. This maneuver, bishop e1.
Yes, I
And
like it.
and now e3. Now we start like Philidor. You push pawns and you start to use gain space. Another stratagem is that you try to utilize your pawns to restrict your opponent's minor pieces when you have two bishops. So
Okay.
but now it's over. Knight h4. So okay, push and I have to move forward.
If the pieces out,
So
yeah.
his pieces are misplaced. Knight g2. I got queen g6. So
Aha.
why didn't I take on g6? Yeah, I was just
Takes
low on
over
time.
there.
Maybe. Yeah, I could take on g6.
Probably.
No, but I'll be exchange up because he'll take here. Huh? Yeah, I can take here. This is also winning. Huh?
Okay, interesting.
Okay, I must mention that I was low on time.
Yeah, no, of course. You've been in
So
under
king
time pressure now
takes.
for a while, so okay, king
I
takes.
thought I'm winning something. Yeah. So the rook is hanging and the knight. Okay, the knight I have to move out of the way. I win knight e2, knight f6, knight g3, and this is just winning. But I can't understand why didn't I take this? Knight g2, queen g6. Did I miss? Maybe play knight f4. Knight e3 maybe. I don't know. Some ghosts I saw there.
Yeah. No, I
maybe,
get you.
maybe knight e3. Maybe knight e3. Some crazy stuff happening. But
Yeah, then you
when
can
you're
take
low
on
on time,
f1 and f4. Yeah, it seems a bit messy. Seems a bit messy.
I was really low on time, but I didn't have time to calculate all the stuff. I just saw the first move and most logical. That doesn't change the structure.
Yes.
And the advantage remains. Knight f6, knight g10 is rook. The rook on g6 is completely out of play.
And knight g3 just
covers the e4 square.
Yes, that's the only active move black has here left.
So he goes h5, and I think this is actually the losing move because now I go g5.
Ooh, that rook on g6.
h4. Yeah, the rook is out. Knight e2. I'm a rook up. Knight e4.
Okay.
And I take on h4, and yeah, I know I was already winning. Still very low on time, but your heart was just racing.
Yes.
The adrenaline that's going through you, but all your pieces are together. It's very important that all the pieces are close to each other to protect the king. And I have the pawn train.
And you scored a pawn now as well. Everything. Yeah, the guys in the chat box also recommended knight takes e3, Kenny. Some of the guys said knight e3 maybe, and
yeah, but I think it's still computer will give an evaluation winning for white maybe.
Yeah, but like you said, you don't want to do
humans,
calculations during the time trouble. Rather, go for keep your structure intact, like you said. Welcome Isvan as well to the show. Okay,
so I'm just jumping the gun, moving some. So it's just a matter of simplifying and consolidating. Okay, so the rook is pinned, and there's also like a very short file open. Although I have h3, so queen e2, queen h5, and I go after the rook.
Oof.
Chop off. I mean, he couldn't stop it. He can't stop queen h5.
Yeah,
the rook is just lost.
So things went downhill very quickly for him there. Yeah, that rook g6 was horrible. But I mean, he was in that momentum. Couldn't really go back.
Knight h5, king g2. Okay, this is very simple.
And that's that. Wow, okay.
Move 41, move 40, and it was over. Yeah.
Nice. How did you feel after the game? That this was move 41. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. I was happy.
Thanks to Extreme Dota for following, by the way. Welcome. Yeah, Kenny, what an excellent game. Like I said, I told Kenny, guys, before we went on air that it's, I don't know, it seems like you were South African Petrosian, the way you were just absorbing the pressure there and.
Yeah, defending the e1.
and the viewers maybe must. Okay, I'm not gonna start a poll, but the viewers must let me know if that's an appropriate description of the game. What do you guys think? Stirred, not shaken. His opponent stirred up some trouble, but he was not shaken, guys.
Yeah, this is a memorable game because it's my first GM scalp. Yeah.
Nice one. Thanks to Cassie Chess for following, by the way.
So yeah,
But it's,
I think it all started
think-
going downhill from knight e7. Yeah.
I think that's quite like the couple of things that I've learned from you in this game, Kenny, is like the psychological side of the game here. The things that you
Mhm.
mentioned was quite like this one that you mentioned, this knight e7 being a critic. I mean, us normal guys just looking at this game, who would ever point out that 97 is maybe the one of the wrong things or mistakes
Yeah,
that
yeah. The thing is, you
that you
don't
made.
play the best move. You don't play the best move. You give your opponent. You make his task easier. You know. So after knight e7, he's basically forcing me to play the correct move, which
Yes.
is bishop d2. Now
So
after knight h5, he's forcing me to play the correct move, bishop e1. You know. So you can say that the game it just played itself when he chose the wrong plan. Yeah.
yes. So your opponent underestimated you slightly there when
Yeah.
your time was low and you had a good
Yeah.
position. So these are the type of things, guys, you need to take into consideration. Don't uh get too carried away when you're looking
Yeah.
good. Should assess
Well,
properly as well.
I think the most important moment might be this decision to capture the bishop on e6, just to unbalance play, knowing that you're out of your prep and understanding the long-term factors involved as well. So I think that was the most important decision I made, or difficult decision, is just to take that bishop. Usually
Yeah.
you want to keep a nice blockade on d4,
Yes, or sometimes you even take on c6 and go rook c1, and okay, but your queen is on
Yeah,
a4 there now, so that's not
yeah.
the setup you're
Yeah.
going for.
So
But yeah,
that's why I like this game
brilliant game,
for this
Kenny.
reason.
Brilliant game.
Thank
Well
you.
done. And just a couple of things here in the chat box. King Ulster says definitely some deep Trojan flair. Hibernator is in the house. Hibernator. We all know who's Hibernator, eh, Kenny?
Who's that?
Is that guy that qualified for the Olympiad that inspired you?
Ah, okay.
Yes, he's the guy
Yeah.
that started it, the inspiration for
Okay.
you.
Nice.
So Ivanita says, seems Black's key mistake was the assumption that he would win by simply throwing his pieces forward towards the king side.
Yeah.
Accurate
No, it just
description
doesn't
there,
work.
Ivanita. Welcome, by the way. Cassie Chess
Oh.
says, hello, Mr. Solomon and Mr. Klassen. Menentle Jr. Mwabe here just joined. Welcome, Menentle. Welcome to the show. Reflector. You also know who's Reflector, right, Kenny?
No.
Reflector does a lot of reflections.
Yes, yes. Okay.
So he says, shaken, not stirred indeed. GM Kenny
Yeah.
beat GM Ralph Akkerson in Budapest in June 2009. Also a great game. Is that true, Kenny?
Yeah, that was also a nice game. But there's another team, maybe another time.
Yes.
For that one.
And okay, the comments are pouring in here now. The People's Patzer says, Kenny, who is the highest rated player you have played over the board? Interesting question there from the People's Patzer.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy. Yeah. Can I answer?
Yeah, of course. I think I know, but yeah, you can go ahead by all means.
That's
Yeah,
Fabiano.
Abi was what, like number 2 in the world, ne? Yeah,
Yeah, he was
at one
number 2
point.
when
He
I played
almost
him.
he was so close to going past Carlson at some point.
No, he
On the
was never
rating,
close to.
on the
No, he was close to
rating.
catching up, but not close to catching up, but not passing.
Look, I think wasn't it when Carlson, when they were playing the world champs? If things went wrong there for Carlson, Fabi would have passed him on the rating. Eh? Fabi was like also.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
he was quite high. But anyway, and King also says, thanks, Kenny. Agreed, Calvin. Critical moves, very subtle to identify and learn for me. MTPOI says, I love the notion my opponent makes mistakes too. Psychology helps. Okay, thanks, guys.
Yes, we can never underestimate the role of psychology in chess, and this is a very important factor. And this actually helped me to get my first GM on.
I think that's huge, guys.
Let's just jump to the next game, Calvin.
Right. So, which game are we going to next?
I'm gonna go through my game, Petkov. Yeah.
Okay, let me just find it quickly. Just against Petkov. Let me just maximize here for 1 second. Chapters Petkov. Okay, here we go.
So this tournament was in Padova in December. Usually they have the tournament in December, like around 12 December or 13, sometimes 15 December. I played quite a few times. Yeah, and this was an international 9-round event. So
Tell me something. This tournament, is it a part of? I've heard you speak about it. Is it one of your favorite tournaments, maybe to play? You know what?
no, the tournament doesn't. They stopped organizing this event, this tournament.
Oh,
This it used to be sponsored, and then some years ago it stopped. The last time I played was 2013.
oh, okay.
Yeah, 2013. And 2014, yeah, it was still continuing 2014. But then I chose to play the African Championships, which was the same day.
Okay, okay. And
Anyway,
yeah,
that's another topic. That's
let,
another topic. Yeah.
yeah, let's get going. Let's get going. So, yeah, you, I think you played this guy earlier the year as well, eh?
Yeah, let's get going. Okay, so let's hunt in Venice. Yeah,
Okay,
5 round tournament in Venice, and it was Catalan.
okay, cool. We had some delay there on Zoom, but we're back. Yeah. All right. So, Catalan, right? Knight F3.
Yeah, so there was. Yeah, I went knight F3. So when you play chess and you face your opponent, so I faced Petkov some time before. I think it was, I can't remember exactly, but I beat him in a tournament, and I played the Catalan, and I managed to beat him. Okay, he made some mistake in the critical moment, and it went downhill for him. So obviously you remember that game.
Yeah.
And when you lose a game, the scars remain.
Yes.
So there's some psychological scar that you still have, from the past. So and you can see by the choice of opening. So I think when I knight f3, as I said before, and then c4, it means I'm trying to avoid some system that he can choose. Maybe I didn't want him to choose some, maybe Benoni or something. I can't remember.
Or maybe like
he plays many systems,
maybe something.
So
If
I
you
try
can make
to
an
I
example.
try to narrow him down.
Sorry, Kenny.
Yeah, like for example,
Zoom is slightly delayed here, but I think something like what's that gambit? C5 and B5. Benko, yeah. So that's an example for the viewers. Maybe you can avoid it like that.
It can be Benoni. It can be Benko, it can be Benoni. So I'm trying to say, please play Catalan again. So E6. Okay. So I went G3. So okay, D5. I went Bishop G2. Maybe I can't remember exactly because it's now some time ago.
Yeah.
But maybe D4 surprised me. I didn't expect him to play D4. But so D4, I just remember, okay, castle, D5, okay, E3, and I'm already on my own again.
Okay.
So as I said, my openings is nothing to boast about or talk. I'm not such an expert in openings.
Yes.
But over the years, I started to make some progress, where openings are concerned. But back then, my openings were on a very low level.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
but okay, this
I think
is
my main strength lied in the middle game.
This is actually still super popular though. These type of lines.
Reverse. Yeah. This is reverse Benoni. But he made a mistake. He should play Bishop D6. I think Bishop D6 is the correct move. Like if you reverse colors and you play Benoni, the bishop comes to D6 or D3 with white.
Okay. Maybe what's the idea Benoni. To get in E5, or is the bishop just better on D6?
Yeah, he has to get the knight here to D7 to C5. This knight must come to D7 and then to C5 and play pawn to A5 and then start to expand with E5. You have to castle and F5, and that's the Benoni structure, but it's reversed.
Yeah.
So, but he played Bishop E7. So I thought, okay, this is strange. And also, I have the white pieces, so it means I have a tempo up.
Yes.
It's like you play Benoni with white, and you play your pawn to E3 and your bishop to E2.
You're like a couple of tempi up.
Yeah, but now I have because it's reversed. So bishop is. I also have an extra tempo. Okay, rook E1, castle, knight A3 with the idea of knight C2 and B4. Knight D7. He played. I think he was supposed to play knight E8 maybe. This was a better move. Because now knight C2 and then something like A5.
Okay.
Something like A5, yeah, something like this.
Maybe I think something like F6 and E5.
Yeah, F6 and E5, but the knight shouldn't lock in this bishop beyond E8.
Yeah.
You went knight d7, knight c2, e5, and yeah, I went b1, which was a mistake. So again, yeah, my opponent makes some change in the opening, and which I find is a problem for a lot of players, that when they make some change, for example, against knight e8, let's say I go knight e8, I go knight c2, you play a5. The typical move is rook b1,
Yeah.
So yeah, I did the same thing. I still went rook b1, like automatically
Okay, what could
without
you have
thinking.
played? Maybe
Instead,
b4
if I
immediately or
played
what?
b4 here, b4 would give me a big advantage already. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, I didn't know the opening. I just played it.
So knight
So
takes b4,
okay,
knight takes e5. I'm assuming, yeah, Kenny.
uh, yeah, knight b4. I take on e5. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I take on e5 immediately.
Okay,
And
all
I
right.
have a very, very powerful pressure.
Bishop
It's
on
diagonal
g2. The
bishop
pawn
on
on
g2
d4 is
combined
also
with
weak.
rook b1, and yeah, and there's problems getting this bishop out and coordinating major pieces. And also white will have a very nice square for bishop on d5. So
Yes.
b4 would have given me advantage. Okay, but that made life much difficult for myself playing rook b1. And
Okay.
now a5, and I thought, okay, what's happening here? Okay. But I didn't understand at the time, but there's a difference with knight d7, knight e8.
Yes.
So I went a3, he went e4, I went bishop d2, f6. I very quickly the stage, and then I realized that something is not right. That what did I catch on? He's got a nice center now. Suddenly
Yeah.
d4, e5, f6. His knight's coming to c5. Okay. But I don't. Suddenly I'm calculating some lines, and I don't like my position. Okay, knight b4. Maybe I should have played bishop b4, and it's just equal. Maybe
Okay.
knight c5, and it's just equal. Okay, so I went knight b4, you went knight c5. So yeah, I don't like my position. So knight is very strong on c5, and it's already putting pressure on d3.
Okay, so you basically missed your opportunity earlier with that b4
Yeah, I
immediately.
messed up. I messed up this opening,
Okay.
and yeah, messing up your opening doesn't mean that the game is over.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, the previous game you showed, I mean, you don't mind playing these slightly worse positions, absorbing pressure, and
No, it's not. It's not like I'm looking for worse positions.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just that okay, there are some areas in my game where I'm weak, where I
But
was weak,
but
and you have to work on it.
it's maybe not something that you enjoy or go into willingly, but I think it's a huge strength though, because some guys,
Yeah, yeah.
even myself, sometimes if I just get into a slightly worse, you lose patience and you just crumble. So I think that's a
Ah,
huge,
okay.
huge, huge thing.
Yeah, one thing Maxwell always told me that when you have a bad position, you can always make things difficult for your opponent. Try to make it tough for him.
Okay.
Like if you solve puzzles, you get easy puzzles, difficult puzzles. You try to give your opponent a tough puzzle to solve.
Yeah.
So that's what it means. Make it difficult for the opponent. And look for it, and you can develop this ability. Okay? So I went
Okay.
knight h4, open up this diagonal.
Yeah.
He goes g5, and here already black is got big advantage, I think.
Okay.
Okay, I went check, and knight g2. I fianchettoed my knight, and this knight is just horrible here on g2.
Yeah.
So
Yes. No
I'm in a very
squares.
difficult position. But okay, we have to also. I should also mention the tournament situation in this part of the tournament. It's 9 rounds, and I lost the second round to Epician,
Ah. Okay.
and then I drew to a 2400 IM, and then I managed to recover.
Yeah.
Then I think I managed to win. Namkan is a good player actually, and it was some long game. I can't remember the amount of moves, but we were the last to finish.
Okay.
And it was the night before this game.
Okay.
So, and now I'm chasing the norm. To chase the norm, the GM norm, you have to be daring. You have to fight. And it's, I mean, you have to. You're playing. I'm playing for a win, and you're chasing. But at the same time, it's not just you play the board and the pieces. You have to play the opponent as well. Okay, I know there are people who say that you have to play the board. I think Fisher said he plays
Place the pieces.
only looks for the best move.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Fisher, you know.
Yeah.
And we're not, you know. I'm not Fisher, you know. So I have to find something, you know, to. So what I do, I look at my opponent's games and I try to see where I can get him. You know, what is his weaknesses, where does he make mistakes, you know. And Petkov, I noticed that he makes a lot of inaccuracies. You know, although he's
Okay.
GM, he makes inaccuracies.
Okay.
Okay, I am, and I'm thinking, okay, I look at these games, and for me, it's not so important the opening. You know, it's just important to see how he plays the middle game, where he makes the mistakes, where does he, even when he has a better position, how does he win? You know, does he win clean? Does he make mistakes on the way that the opponents doesn't see, etc. So
Yeah.
all that information give me a lot of confidence before the game. So when I see that, I saw that okay, he makes mistakes on move 30 or move 35. That gives me a lot of confidence.
Yes.
So it shows that okay, I can take this guy. You know,
Yes.
and I knew when you have this information, you are prepared for the whole game, not just the opening. You know, so I thought, okay, I'm worse. Like Black's clear advantage here, but I can still outplay and still play better and keep the tension, keep the struggle, and make it difficult for him. And he can make mistakes, and I'll be able to capitalize. And this is more or less how we. I mean, how chess is being played in Africa. I think you know
Brilliant.
we have that fortitude to you know you have to have willpower. You know.
Yes.
So okay, F5 and I'm worse. So obviously, what to do? I don't like my position, and I've never played the structure with white. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't have the experience. So you have to improvise. No? So
Yeah.
I decided, okay, I'm nothing better. I have to take. I'm a pawn up. Okay, he's got compensation. Get the bishop and the knight. But maybe he wasn't so accurate here. Maybe he could play something better. Maybe just queen c7 and he's
C7.
got the advantage here.
Yes.
Yeah, queen c7. So during the game, maybe I saw queen c7 and I didn't like my position, to be honest, because my king side is I didn't like my knight on g2. But when he played bishop f5, I knew that okay,
It's
this is
giving
not
you
the move I
something.
expected. It's giving me something. So I take on the knight, he gets out. I have to take. And now, okay, I would say this is equal position. Over the board, I thought, okay, I still felt worse, you
It's
know.
uncomfortable on the king side, yeah, with your light squares,
Yeah,
even though you are
I
pawn up.
felt like, yeah, I felt like black is better. Although
Okay.
I'm a pawn up, he's better.
Okay.
At the same time, I know that his king is also a little bit open, you know,
Yes.
on the 7th rank and 8th rank. So I need to find a way to open it up, you know. So I went h4. Okay, he went g4, and now I went h5. I was very happy to make h5 over the board,
Okay.
and now f4. Maybe
What's
objectively better was b4.
so can you just let me know what's the idea of playing h5? Is that just stopping black from playing h5 himself, or what? Taking away
Yeah,
the
my
g6
idea
square, and you've
I
got
think
the
it's simply just to get the knight out.
okay.
Yeah, to get the knight out,
The knight was
and
crying out
if
earlier. Yes.
yeah, yeah, and if he allows me, I'll be very happy to get pawn on h6. Okay, because I know pawn on h6 means that they are mating motives.
Yes,
You
and
know,
his king is
so
exposed.
mating, yeah, and his rooks will be sort of limited to some degree. You
Hmm.
know,
Okay.
so I'll
Nice.
have a nice outpost for my knight on the edge of the board with pawn on h6, and the king. His king is he's not feeling comfortable on the king side for sure. And also we know that if I manage to exchange all the rooks at some point, and I'll have a nice tandem of queen and knight versus queen and bishop.
And plus, you
Okay.
still a pawn up as well.
Yeah.
Top of that. So
So and yeah. So I'm playing for a win.
yes.
Although I know that I'm worse, I'm still playing for a win, you
Nice.
know.
Nice.
So yeah, I
Okay.
went f4.
Here we
F4
go.
maybe very risky move. I'm always low on time. That's the thing because I do quite a lot of time and I try to determine the direction of play. So f4, and I thought, okay, Like I play b4, although maybe b4. Computer tells me, I want to do this. It takes, and I take on b3. It's objectively equal.
Okay.
But it's very more straightforward play,
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do now is I have to try to confuse him. So I'm
Yes.
playing on both sides of the board. Okay. So he has to make a decision. He takes, I think, he went queen c8. Okay, queen c8 is actually a good move because he keeps the bishop and the diagonal.
Here's the h6 move.
So now I was very happy to have h6. Yeah, there's the h6 move, and
Yeah, finally the
7
b4.
and 4 it's just crying out. Yeah, I just activate. It was a very tense game.
Yeah, no, I like the end, guys. You need to watch this, guys.
Okay.
In fact, I didn't come up with a name for this one. The last one I do have a name, but maybe the viewers can give us a name. But first, let's have a look at the end. So bishop to
Yeah.
d7. It seems like Black's attack is not that prominent anymore. Like you've done
No,
a great job here.
he's actually still better, I think, but I don't know how to evaluate. This is a position that's a computer can give you an evaluation, but over the board it's not so
Yeah, you
not
can't
so easy.
necessarily trust the computer here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this position is easy to play for Black, even if he might be better. I
Yeah.
don't know how to evaluate, to be honest, because at the same time I have my king a little bit exposed. I don't have pawn cover for my king.
Yes.
Okay. Black has more cover of h7 and f6. He's got this pawn chain, f6, e5, d4. He's quite covered, and he's got his major pieces around him. But at the same time, this pawn on h6 is very strong.
Yes.
Because it means that I have some threats on the back rank, and I have a good tandem of knight and queen. So this knight can be very tricky, Okay, the position is open, and he has the bishop, which is an advantage, and he has a very nice diagonal for the bishop and queen, bishop to h3 as well. So I felt like, sorry, I jumped again. I felt like, he went bishop d7. I don't know why he went back bishop d7. Maybe he was trying to switch diagonal with
Maybe
bishop c6
bishop
and queen
c6 and
h3.
maybe rook g8 as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to gang up on the g3 pawn here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has to watch f6. So me just take you back to f4. So this is what I had in mind with f4. I used a lot of time to play f4 actually.
Yeah, nice way of
just to create confusion.
Yes.
Yeah. Create confusion and to have play on both sides of the board. When you play on both sides of the board, it's not easy. Then it's very straightforward, So you need to confuse your opponent. So okay, queen f2, knight h4, b8, and knight took on e5.
Okay,
Yeah.
fireworks.
Very risky stuff. Yeah, risky stuff. Okay, so let's say knight h4, make a move for black. Not so easy, eh?
It's not easy.
Not so easy because bishop c6,
knight
f5.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in time trouble, and he had maybe like 10 minutes more than me.
You see, those pawns for black look nice, but you can't really move them at all. Like you can never play f5 because e5 is saying you can't get, you don't have the e4 break. So
yeah, you can't mobilize.
Yeah,
I think you should play. Yeah, I think rook g8 is a irresponsible move. Okay, so rook g8. Okay, I took on e5, and I think I had about 5 minutes here.
Okay.
So okay, he went queen c7. Queen c7, and is hitting my g3 pawn. Okay,
Yes.
so I win rook d5.
So you willingly let him get in.
It's probably equal here. Maybe it's equal. But where did he make the mistake? Maybe bishop d7 wasn't accurate. I don't know. Okay, but okay, the guys can analyze with engines.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Engine analysis. What matters is that you have a tense struggle. You're running low on time, and there are two players. You have to find the moves by yourself. That's what's
what happened here. Let's go down to bishop
press the wrong
d7.
button.
Okay, you can go up till there. Yeah, no, it's
So
definitely a tense struggle, and things are just opening up here now. Rook g8, the rook takes e5, queen
yeah,
c7.
rook
So black
e5, queen
maybe had this
c7.
g3 in mind. This
Yeah,
g3. Okay.
yeah, I went rook b5, a took on g3, and now I win knight g2.
Okay. So the knight is
Yeah,
performing his duties now as a defender,
yeah.
keeping the
Hmm.
king safe.
Okay, maybe I could play king f1. Yeah, I'm not sure. King f1, bishop h3, king. If bishop h3, I think I'm even winning. Yeah, with king e1.
So there's no rook e7 or queen e7 doesn't really do anything. The king just waltz on.
Yeah, the king just moves on. So he has
Ah.
to watch out for his back rank. Huh? He cannot advance.
Hmm. Okay, so that
Okay,
was a
so rook
possibility, yes.
d5 check. I went
Two.
knight g2, but I think king f1 was much better. Yeah,
Okay.
king f1. Maybe it's
It's not so easily played
yeah,
with time pressure. Yeah, trouble.
yeah. We he's under pressure. A lot of adrenaline here. I remember
Mm.
I was very low on time, and when I g2, maybe this is a mistake. So yeah, he goes rook g8. He's basically covering the back rank.
Yeah.
Because bishop h3 is not working for some reason. Huh? Can he play bishop h3?
h3.
Not because I can take. Yeah, that's the trick.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and I have checkmate.
Ah,
No, it's not mate. It's got queen g8.
but it's at least you're just swapping off here. Can't you double up on the
Oh,
back
no.
rank?
b8. Yeah, yeah. This is winning.
Ah, that's a nice finish.
Yeah, this is winning. Okay, so that's why I couldn't play bishop h3. So he goes rook g8 first to protect the back rank. So literally, I'm in like severe time trouble. And it's why am I in time trouble? It's not because I was looking for it, but it's because I created this type of play, changing the situation, um, searching
Can
for complications.
sorry, let me
Yeah.
just throw in something here. Babiki was asking here, bishop c6. Is this now without rook g8? Is bishop c6 possible? Isn't there some
Bishop c6.
similar issues that's going to happen? I guess queen takes g3 again, eh?
Queen takes g3. Queen takes check. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I just take it. No?
Yeah, similar Babiki over there in the chat box.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah,
So MT
because if you
says,
take, yeah, I got rook b8. Huh?
ooh, that's nice. MT says the H pawn is gaining you a lot of time and threats, yo. Okay, thanks, MT. Okay, cool. Just wanted to get that question, Kenny. So instead he went
Yeah,
rook g8.
yeah, rook g8.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went rook h5.
Okay.
Maybe but I mean, as I said, I was low on time,
And plus
and I
bishop
saw,
c6 is maybe coming, or bishop h3. So
yeah,
rook
bishop
h5 makes
c6 is
sense.
coming, and yeah, so I went rook h5, that's of
Stopping
play,
bishop
bishop
h3.
c6, and rook h2. This is a
Okay.
very strange way to play, but actually, this is actually rook h5 was a mistake. There must be something better for white. Maybe I should play king f1. Yeah, just get my king out of the way.
Bishop h3.
Bishop h3. Okay, but he takes, I take, check. Okay, yeah, bishop h3 is coming, eh? Yeah,
Maybe.
bishop h3.
It's a bit uncomfortable to play, especially with low on time, yeah.
Yeah, I was low on time. Maybe
Mm.
I should, no, maybe I could take on d4. Sorry, take on d4. No, take on d4, bishop c6, queen takes d4, maybe queen d4.
Okay, but what's the threat here? What are you threatening for white? Let's say bishop
I
h3
mean,
again.
I can protect with rook b2 if he plays
Oh,
bishop
okay,
h3.
okay, rook b2, yeah,
Okay,
okay.
and if he plays bishop c6, that's the thing. Bishop c6.
Maybe that's a problem, yeah. Maybe you were defending accurately. Maybe rook h5 is necessary.
But maybe because I've got 3 pawns on the queen side, so maybe it's okay to be an exchange
Yeah,
down here.
maybe something just
Rook
like
b2.
rook b2 anyway, rook f2, something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe this could be. I don't know.
But it seems unnecessary. The way you played it seems
Yeah,
maybe even better.
yeah. It looks the way I played looks logical.
Hmm.
Okay, but
Maybe rook
I
h5
think
is
rook
strong.
h5. Yeah, but even so, he had more time, and the GM wasn't able to find the way to win for black.
Okay.
Okay, bishop c6 correct. Rook h2, and black to play and win.
Yeah,
Let's see
so
if someone can find it.
guys, black to play and win. Can you find the winning move? I highly recommend you have a look at it. And again, we see Kenny absorbing a lot of pressure, guys, and he's coming up with a good. So no, sorry, white to play, ne? Wait.
No,
You
no,
said
black to play.
black to play. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Black to play. So your opponent missed something. Yeah.
yeah. To show the GMs, they're not perfect. They make mistakes, and especially when you're low on time and you're under pressure, it means you took important decisions earlier, and to determine the direction of play. And that's why I'm in this difficult situation. But still, your being low on time can influence their thought process.
Yes.
You know? But still, it's also not easy playing with someone else's time trouble. Okay, so yes, it's a very instructive moment, although it's a correct move. Let's see.
Anybody wants to make a suggestion, guys?
Don't use an engine, please.
I'm also calculating here. So yeah, we've got someone here. Roland is here. Welcome, Roland. Of course, there's Roland Wallenberg, Kenny. He says hi, everyone, especially
Hi,
to
Roland.
GM.
Hi, Roland.
And Alt says guessing queen takes h2. That's Alt's guess. Queen takes h2.
No,
But the problem is you take and then you can swap off on g2, but you end up in just
a
a lost rook endgame because you have less pawns. King Ulster is suggesting rook g5. What's your idea,
G5.
King Ulster? What does rook g5 do? Not sure. Isvan is suggesting rook f7 to f8.
F8.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the correct move actually. Yeah. But the idea is what?
Ooh,
Who is this?
Isvan. He's part of Cape Town Chess Club.
Who is he?
Isvan, I struggle to pronounce your surname, but he's a one of our regular players in Western Province. He's been part of Cape Town Chess Club for ages. Okay. A very nice guy, in fact.
Okay, nice. Okay, this is the correct move. Rook f8, or another move actually is rook g6.
Okay. Isvan has allowed me to. Sorry, Kenny. Isvan has allowed me to pronounce it Jongi. I think it's Jongi. Isvan Jongi. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so this is the way to play rook g6 and rook f8. Okay. The thing is, the problem is that the human brain, we're so used to moving forward and we calculate, so we calculate forward moves, so we're looking for blows like captures or checks. So like queen h2 or bishop g2 or rook g2 or something like rook g5. Okay, rook g5 also, but rook g6 is more precise. The maneuver rook f8 and rook g8. Okay, so black has all the time to prepare this maneuver because I'm in zugzwang here on the king side. I can't move my king because queen will take on h2.
Yes, and king h1 looks bad for the diagonal as well. Well done, Isvan, with your suggestion.
So the key to solving this position is to not just calculate, but to understand the situation is that the queen eyes the rook, king cannot move. The knight is pinned and is attacked by two pieces, and the knight cannot move. If I move my king to h1, I'm still in the pin. So black can just slowly organize or regroup rook g6, rook f8, and rook g8.
Okay. Phew.
But the GM wasn't able to find this, although he had more time. Okay. It was a very tense situation with me being very short on time. I think I might have had like 30 seconds or even increment.
Okay.
I was on increment, yeah. So he went queen e5.
Looks like a natural looking forward move, yeah.
Yeah, and also banking on the fact that I will crumble, that okay, queen e1 will come or something. Okay, rook b1, I'm covering e1. He goes rook e7. It's so natural to just take the open file, but that's not important. What's important is to exploit the pin.
Yes.
Okay, so now I go king f1, and he cannot take on h2. Because after rook e7, queen h2, queen f6.
Let's
Okay.
just show the viewers queen takes h2 and queen
Yeah.
f6 and stuff is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Happening. Okay.
Okay. So he
Good
plays.
afternoon, Drom Dexel. Drom Dexel says, "Good afternoon, Calvin and Kenny. Amazing work, guys. Thanks, Drom Dexel."
Thank you.
Istvan says, "Wow," and King also says, "Critical moments again." Yeah. Okay. So King F1, a cool move.
Yeah. So we see that the lesson here is very important that even when you have a position, this is a critical moment for black. He has to find a way to win. But he takes the position for granted and he just makes a move looking at my time.
Okay.
So when your opponent is low on time, make sure that if the moment is critical, it's time for the coup de grace, the finishing touch.
Yes. Yes.
You have
Yes.
to you have to deliver the death blow. You have to think, give back some time, but find a way to win.
Yes.
Compose yourself.
Mm.
And a lot of GMs, they can make this mistake that they influenced by your being low on pressure and they just come forward.
Okay.
One and now, yeah, I mean, I'm very much in tune with what's happening because Queen H2, I have Queen F6, Bishop G2, I have Rook G2. Everything is covered. There's no mating one or mating two. So Rook G5, very
You're doing
straightforward. There
Rook
must be a
F5.
defense because my opponent didn't find the best move. Okay, so Rook
Oof.
back.
Okay.
Yeah,
So again now, if Queen B8, then again Queen F6.
yeah, Queen B8. I
Okay.
take
So
on
so
F6.
that pawn on H6 is doing amazing work. Beautiful.
Yeah, pawn is they call it nowadays. They call it the thorn pawn.
Yes. Or they call it the Alpha Zero
With
or something as well like that.
yeah, Alpha Zero thorn pawn. Yeah,
Yes.
H6. Okay, so I win Rook H4 to stop Rook F5. I have Rook F4. And still, he cannot take on B8 because I have Queen takes F6. Rook F5, Rook F4.
Sure. You
Okay.
again. You
Oh,
again.
another.
You like this, Kenny. You
Yeah.
like on the like. Wow. You're
No,
just
it's all
finding.
all four
And this is on
all forced
increment.
moves.
And this is on increment. You
Yeah,
love it.
increment.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's all forced moves, and a must-win situation.
Yes.
I mean, it's a must-win situation. I have to create something out of a difficult position.
Yeah.
So it all went loose all went wrong when he went Queen E5.
Mm-hmm.
F1, all my moves are forced and easy. Forced and easy. Okay.
Okay.
Rook H4 is easy. Rook F5, Rook F4, easy.
Okay.
But his situation became difficult because he missed his critical moment earlier. And
Yeah.
now he's forcing the situation. And at this moment, he had to find the only way to draw, which was Rook H5, which is not easy to make. Because remember, he comes from B5 to F5, and now he must go back.
Yeah.
It's not so easy to make this move, but Rook H5 is the best way to make a draw. I'll go Rook H4, and we repeat moves.
Okay.
Okay, but he took on B8. I took on F5. Back. This is very tempting. We can see the knight covers.
That knight that you said
B7.
was so sad, Kenny. That knight is doing everything this game, young. He's going to H4. He's coming back to G2, defending. Now he's coming to E1 again. Now he's doing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, Bishop
And yeah,
D7.
I found. Yeah, I already made the time
Okay,
control and
Kenny.
everything is. I survived the time trouble.
I would actually like the viewers now. I'd like the viewers, if you don't mind, Kenny, to suggest a move here for white. This is one of the moments why I love this game. So guys, uh, like Kenny said, he reached the time control now. He's a bit more relaxed. White to play. Find us a quality move. What did Kenny play in this position? I had a few comments here. Yeah, Alt said early on over the board. I lost a few games where the opponent under pressure made me feel I need to move faster instead of relaxing, and I lost the games. So yeah, you gained some experience there, Alt. And MT says, Kenny, sorry to intervene, but how do you select a move to play and a plan to execute? Sometimes I miss moves on of one piece and only see it during evaluation. Deep question there, MT. Um,
Okay. Come again, that question.
so,
Sorry.
so let me just
Can you repeat
repeat.
that one?
He says, how do you select a move to play and a plan to execute? So I'm thinking he's just asking how to strategize because sometimes I miss moves of one piece and only see it during evaluation. So maybe just how to generalize strategizing and so on.
Yeah.
You,
Okay. So you just
I would suggest maybe Kenny, you should maybe take a good look at the pawn structure, because that's how you identify where pieces should be going and so on. But maybe you can
yeah
give
you
him a
have to
better
have
idea.
yeah basically you need to have a basic understanding of model game structures and ideas and learn from the classic games. Yeah, basically. To know, for example, in my game against Sokolov, when I played knight takes bishop on e6,
Yeah.
I knew that I'm changing the pawn structure. I will have the two bishops, and I knew he will have hanging pawns, but he'll have initiative. So it's all about judgment, you know,
Hmm.
and also weighing up the position and the situation, you know.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I think yeah, it's basic planning, and you have to calculate, you know, select candidate moves and try to foresee. But it takes practice. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but one thing that is a reoccurring, guys, on the show is all the top players on the show says go through the classics. I think that's the one thing that we all agree on. Go through the classics, guys. You'll learn a lot of strategies there as well. Um,
Yeah, it's basic strategies. Yeah.
we've got Alt here that is suggesting the rook to b5. And then there's a couple of people, yeah, now the rest seems to be saying Dr. Queenie is the one. Yeah, both of them are saying rook e5, and the people's Patsa says rook e5, and King also says rook takes f6. Hi Arsenal fan Richie, welcome to the show. So we have a rook b5 suggestion.
B5, I think there's bishop h3 check.
Bishop h3 check. Oof. So
Yeah.
we're not gonna allow queen
Okay.
takes f6. Thanks to Murray
Yeah,
for following.
B5
Welcome.
is bishop h3 check, king g1 and queen e1.
Ah, okay, and the knight
Oh
just
no,
drops.
maybe rook e1. Rook e1 is stronger. Yeah.
Rook e1.
Rook e1 and then you have check. No, king yeah. Maybe queen
Queen
g1.
d3.
Okay.
Queen
Yeah,
d3.
also this is possible. Yeah, queen d3. Yeah, queen
Yeah.
d3.
So rook b5
Okay.
won't work, unfortunately. We see your idea trying to get to f6. Another suggestion was rook f6 as well before we get to the actual move. What's
Yeah,
what
there's
what
bishop
again?
h3
Bishop
check.
h3 is the main problem here. King
Yeah,
g1, I
that's a
suppose,
problem.
and then the knight drops again. So
Yeah.
the rest of the viewers suggested the rook
So there's only
e5.
one move. Yeah, rook e5 is the move. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
That's
Like
a nice move.
that's very aesthetically pleasing. And it's not like
Yeah,
you're not
aesthetically
even
pleasing.
grabbing something there, you're just placing the rook there.
Yeah, no, it felt so nice to make this move. Yeah? So he went
Cool.
rook f7.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so sorry, Kenny, just to point out to everybody, I mean, obviously rook takes e5, there's queen takes f6 check and mate. And
Yeah.
after pawn takes there, then there's queen f8 mate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful stuff. So rook f7.
Okay, so rook f7, rook e7, and yeah, I think it's finished now. King g8.
Wow,
Okay,
another
so
nice
back.
move, rook e7, yeah. A
Yeah,
check.
back. And take is all forced. I take on h7. He goes queen c1. It's important he doesn't have a check yet, so I still have time to organize myself. So queen e4 check, check. I just gaining time on the clock. I went check on g8 and check again, and queen h4, and he resigned
Beautiful.
because he's got no checks, and the h pawn is going to promote. So yeah, this game I won because okay, it was a very difficult game actually because I was under pressure, and also I won because my opponent made mistakes. You know, so basically that's the message that they do make mistakes.
Yes.
And also, I mean, time trouble. It's not like I want to end up in time trouble, but the result of maybe trying to, you know, uh, it's very important to understand the importance of critical moments. You know, so there's a critical moment, and like for me, this can be a critical moment, and it could be b4, which was equal, and I have no problems. But then again, I'm not going to win because I don't think I will be able to win if he remains solid on the king side and he defends and he tries to conquer me on the queen side. It's very one-dimensional type of
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
So I took a very, I would say, for psychological decision, very risky, because I needed to play for a win. Then I'm in a situation where I have to win. It's win on demand, you know.
Oh,
So
this is fighting chess.
unfortunately,
Phew, this
yeah,
is good stuff.
unfortunately, this is the situation you will find yourself in when you're chasing a norm.
Yeah.
That okay, you might have lost a game earlier and things don't go according to plan, you know. So now what is plan B? Plan B is you have to win, you know. And I've been in similar situations before, and it means that sometimes you don't play the objectively best moves, but you play moves where you have to weigh up and evaluate the resulting positions with how risky will it be, how difficult will it be for the opponent. Yeah, it will be very difficult because he has to look at both sides of the board, you know, and the
Yeah.
position is open. So it's a very risky decision. So just try to create complications, you know, and tactics, you know. And I noticed that this wasn't the strong point of my opponent's play,
And then
just by looking at his games. Yeah,
maybe something I can also add to the for the viewers as well to know is, Kenny, what is also important is not only were you absorbing the pressure excellently, but guys, I think Kenny was also very attuned on his tactical side. I mean, you grabbed your opportunities when you got them, like rook e5
yeah,
and these
I
type of
grab.
things.
Yeah,
So it's not just that you're just sitting and waiting and waiting for gifts. It's like the moment your opponent slipped up, you actually were all over
yeah,
him. So that was quite nice
yeah,
to see as well. So not your
yeah,
tactics should be sharp even in these type of tough
yeah.
positions.
These games are not clean, Calvin. It's not clean games. This is very messy. So, and it's also not really my style of play, but it was the situation demanded it, you know.
Yes,
So and you have to go outside your comfort zone to touch your opponent, you know.
yes,
Because I saw, okay, tactically he makes mistakes, so I have to set up that situation, although it might not be my cup of tea, you know.
yeah,
uh, so okay, it was risky. I might even lose this game, but I've tried, you know.
yes,
So, and that's the only way I could stay in the game with rook h5, rook h2. I thought during the game, and he must rook f8 or rook g6, which is
yes,
very difficult to find.
yes.
King f1, f1 was key move because now I'm free.
Mm,
My knight is free to jump,
yes.
and I can cover the f4 square.
And just a
Okay.
question here. One of these, I think it was Alt that asked as well in this position instead of rook e5. Just a moment when you played rook e5, yeah. He also asked,
Yeah. Yeah.
oopsie, I'm moving the board here. He asked why is rook f3 not doing something. I think rook f3 is just way more passive. It's stopping bishop h3,
Yeah.
but I mean
Yeah.
you're not getting what
Yeah,
you.
black is still active. He's going to try and come in with bishop c6 or bishop g4, maybe. I don't know, bishop g4. Okay, I don't know. Maybe. But okay, what is my next move? That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I think
My
that's the
next
main
move
problem.
is
Alt is maybe rook
so I'm
e5
still
is
tied down.
rook e5 is brilliant because it's attacking f6 and e7 at the same time. So
Hmm.
that's why rook f3 is maybe not preferable in this position, guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
but thanks, Kenny. This was a brilliant game.
Yeah, black has too many options. Yeah. Yeah.
Isvan says very nice guy, very nice, Kenny. Through GM play, Dr. Queenie says, Kenny, your nuggets of advice is worth gold. Thanks for sharing your ideas and knowledge. Very,
Oh,
very
thanks.
valuable. Thanks, Dr.
Thank
Queenie,
you.
for the kind words.
Okay.
So Kenny, that was brilliant. I think this was the game I didn't have a name for. The viewers can still give it something. But tell me, do we have time for the last game or what?
Okay. Yeah. We have to put in that last game.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent stuff. I
Okay.
do have something for the last game.
Can we set that up?
Yeah, let's get to the last chapter over here.
Yeah, because that is the game that got me that it not really secured me the GM norm. I still had to play the last round, and I needed half a point. I needed to draw the last round. Yeah.
Aha, okay.
But this game I needed to win. I absolutely needed to win.
Oh, you needed to.
Uh,
This was a must win.
yeah, I must win. Okay. So my opponent was 2-5-13, and if I win this game, I have a performance of can't remember exactly, to close to 2-6 or 2-6. And the last game I played another 2-5 something and needed another draw.
Yes.
So basically, what happened was I won 3 games in a row, and I drew my last game.
Oof. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So
That's
the three
nice.
games that I won, as you saw, Petkov game, um, and the game with Namkan I didn't show, but that game was like 100 moves or something.
Wow. So it's a really a brilliant tournament for you, actually. Brilliant
Yeah.
tournament.
And then this game I absolutely needed to win. So if you can just flip the board,
Yeah, I flipped it that you've got the black pieces, right?
yeah, can you flip the board?
I flipped it my side. Maybe you should just flip it your side as well. Um,
Okay.
and what I can say about this game is what's my title for this game?
Where do you
Careful.
flip this board?
I think you go at the bottom right. There's three lines. You just click on it.
Uh-huh.
Then there should be flipboard. That one of your options should be flipboard.
Okay, let's see. Where's this now? Go to the scar. Yeah. Okay,
Are
there we
you
go.
are you sorted? So I think
Yeah.
this title I'm gonna say is uh, careful what you wish for. So your opponent actually did something, and it kind of
Okay.
backfired extremely
Yeah.
quickly. So yeah,
Okay. So okay, this is some background to why I actually play this D6 line. There was a time I used to play the Sveshnikov, and I noticed, okay, when you play opening, you have to have a reason why you play a certain opening. And, I was playing the Sveshnikov, and I think it was because I was following the games of Kramnik and Kasparov, and there are a lot of Sveshnikov games, and
yeah,
I used to like having this active play. And then I noticed that when I play all these players that lower rated players, you don't want them to play 20 moves, and they're
yes,
not getting into time trouble.
yes,
So I thought, okay, Philodor is actually a very good opening to play,
yeah. I
and
like
yeah,
it.
actually a lot of players like to weaker players like to capture and exchange queens, and black is actually quite comfortable because the difference is he doesn't have this knight on c6 like white's knight on c3, so he can actually just place a pawn on c6,
That's that's that's
and
that's quite
and
nice that you're telling me us this here, Kenny, because I also remember when I came to Cape Town. Oh, there's another question I wanted to ask you, by the way. Thinking about the Western Province League, but I remember the one time I saw at the Western Province League. Of course, this was something new and brilliant for me to see when I came to Cape Town Western Province League. I see who's the who, and you're playing on board one, obviously there for Michel's playing. And the one game I saw you played Donovan, um,
mm,
and that game you also played this opening, and I was
yeah,
like, "What are you? What is going on here?" And in fact, you also played me. Remember, I'm still young and new to everything. Yeah, I'm like a 1900 whatever. And then the other time, you also played this opening against me. I don't know if I captured the queen or not, but I still asked you like, "Why do you do this? Like, why do you allow this queen's exchange?"
yeah,
Even I
it's
even
because
saw you. I
it's
even saw you against Donovan doing this, but you're doing it against the strongest players, and you were like, "Oh, you willing to beat anybody in the end game." So I mean,
yeah, the end game. I used to like playing the end games, and also because of this nuance that I can place bishop on d6.
yes,
Let's say he plays bishop c4, I can go king e8,
yes,
okay, knight f3, I go bishop d6, and with the idea of obviously, okay, let's say, okay, knight b5 is not good, I can take on e4, let's
yes,
say he goes knight g5, I have rook f8,
yes,
and
and then
eventually I can
eventual
play
A6.
c6, yeah, like bishop g5, I think this is the line, knight bd7, he castles queenside, and then a6,
Yes,
because now I can't play c6. And then slowly black comes out, and he has a very comfortable position, yeah.
yeah,
But okay, this is the end game. Yeah. But now, back then, this was a good opening to play. Objectively, maybe it's not a good opening, but um, at that time it was good because there were no powerful engines like today,
yeah,
and this was still fresh territory.
yes,
It wasn't so much explored the Philodor. And I stopped playing this opening now. So you move
okay,
with the times,
yes,
you
yes, of
move with the
course,
times, and you try to work with what is working, especially in this generation. So there's still some GMs that play the setup and find a novelty here and there, try to confuse the players. But objectively, it's not a good opening. But at that time, it was a good time to play it.
yes,
And the reason why I chose this opening was because I saw that my opponent plays e5. He plays some bishop c4 lines, and he has a very direct attacking style. He used to like going for kingside attacks, and he knew his lines very well,
Okay.
So, and I'm in a must-win situation, and I look at how he played the middle game, and I saw that he's good at attacking, and he has good results. He has a rating of 2.513. Okay, I have to beat him if I want to know. So what to do? I have to find his weak spot, and his weak spot is not in the opening. His weak spot is like in the middle game.
Okay.
So look where he makes the mistake, and the mistakes he makes is that, okay, maybe you find mistakes, some inaccuracy here and there, but what I noticed that a lot of players, they wouldn't, they're giving him what he wants, So
Okay.
I found that I don't see him. He makes some positional errors. He weakens a square here or there. How can I exploit it? So I have to take him to another territory where he's not going to get a direct attack, where the play is not straightforward, but it's like guerrilla warfare type of thing. So that's what I want.
Yes.
So that's what I was looking for, and my strategy was, as long as I can keep the game going, even if I'm worse, it doesn't matter. I have a chance, So I did this risky opening.
Okay.
Knight b7, b4, a6 is a line was popular back then.
Yes.
Maybe now it's not such a good opening because it's been heavily analyzed. a4, b6, knight d5. I don't think this is the correct way to play it.
Okay.
But then, well, it wasn't. It's not a bad move, but it's one line. But it should be okay here. Now in bishop d7, he took my bishop, and he went bishop d3. So I was very happy with this position.
Okay.
Although white looks better, he's got two bishops. There's tension in the center. Okay, but my strategy was to play 100 moves, and wait for his mistakes as well.
Okay.
He goes d5. He blocks the center. Already he's out of his kind of play, his style of play, because his style is very direct.
Yes.
And he likes to move forward straight in a straight line and go straight to the king.
Okay.
So a player like this, you have to take him around. You show him around. So
right.
d5 is blocked. So I know if he's going to get an attack, it's not going to be like some straightforward attack. He needs to prepare it.
Yes.
He has to maneuver, and to maneuver, it takes, I don't know, it's going to be, not less than 40 moves. This game is going to be a 60 move game, long game with the structure already. You're not going to get a very long game with the structure. So
yes.
I was very happy, and with the 90-minute time control, it's not enough. 100 moves with 90 minutes, it's not enough time to play perfect chess, or to play high level quality for 2500. He's going to make mistakes.
Okay.
Queen d8. So I'm waiting. I'm without my bad bishop, and my queen can maneuver around e7, c7. My knights can dance on d7 and c5. Okay, the bishop on d3, I'm going to try to make it look bad.
Okay.
Okay, he finds a good move, knight h4. I go g6, he goes bishop g5, queen c7. So I went from queen e7 to c7. And
something
tension.
Something that I can just notice, Kenny. That's why I said that like your games, some of them seem slightly linked in different ways. But even this one, yeah, the previous game you had this awkwardness about the bishop on the light squares when your king was on g1, and yeah, you also willing to defend without the dark squared bishop. So interesting stuff. It just shows you. The tenacity and it's what must you do to break through against you? So
it's that, okay, I'm trying to play on my opponent's weaknesses.
Yes.
And I notice his games is very direct. So I don't want to give him his kind of middle game. That's all. I'm actually, if you look computer evaluation here, white has clear advantage. Okay. He's got two bishops. I'm without my dark square bishop. Maybe I made a mistake here somewhere, but it's not important. For me, the most important factor is I have to win, and it's a must-win situation. I think this is a situation that will always occur for anyone chasing norm.
Yes.
That you're in a must-win situation. So what do? You keep the game going.
Yes.
You keep the tension, and you're just waiting for that mistake. Okay, but his moves are so obvious now.
Uh-huh.
It's easy. The most important thing is that I'm not losing in 1 or 2 or 3 moves. So
Yes.
just keep the game, keep the tension. Queen h3 is already not the most accurate move. So he has a big advantage. He has a lot of options, you know. So maybe I must play white. I would approach this position differently. I would place queen or maybe on d2.
Yeah.
Okay. I will slowly prepare like rook f1 and play for f4. But
Maybe
okay,
bishop
I will play
h6, knight a5 perhaps
yeah, bishop
also.
h6, queen d2, bishop h6,
Knight a5
h3
sometimes.
slowly. Yeah, rook f1, not immediately knight f5 because okay, black will be able to take it and defend, but king on h8.
Yeah.
So yeah, play on the dark squares. Maybe even an idea of bishop d2 and slowly rook f1 and slowly g3, knight g2, f4, very slow maneuvering. That's more or less my style of play.
Yeah. That would
You
have
know,
been, that would have
like g3
suited
is
the position.
important for white. He has to
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
But your
So, but this is
opponent is
not his
not.
style of play,
Yes, I get you.
and this is what.
He's going for
Yeah,
more
this is not his style
directness.
of play. So as yeah, so you can see queen f3 is a typical move you play in some lines where you take on e5, take e5, queen f3, h3, knight h2, knight g4. You know,
Yes.
so you can see that characteristics coming through. So queen f3, okay, queen g7 is playing in a very direct manner. F3, queen h3 is looking for mate, but there's no mate. You cannot come with a direct style in such a close position.
Yeah.
And this weakness I detected in his play, and that's why I set it up. You know, but it's risky because I'm worse. Objectively, here I'm worse, and okay. So it determined my choice of opening. I wanted to usually I play e5, e4, e5, but I thought I'm not going to win with e5 against him. You know?
Get you. Interesting.
So he goes rook a3, some strange moves here. So he doesn't know what to do. He's got a bit better position, but he still doesn't know what to do. I mean, if I was playing against Karpov, I'm dead, you know, or Carlson or any, you know. But okay, bishop c8. I'm defending now the diagonal. Queen goes to g3 and knight f6. So already he's struggling to. There's no knockout blow because the center is blocked. It's closed, and when the center is closed, you have to maneuver and play for a breakthrough of f4, and you have to prepare this breakthrough, and this you already failed to do. So what happens is that the game takes longer. He gets tired. You start slipping later. So let's fast forward. I slowly improve my position with a5. And here he makes another positional error. He takes on c6. You should actually keep the structure because with this e4, d5, c4 pawn structure, I'm quite limited here in the
Especially your
center.
c8 bishop as well, yeah.
Yeah. And okay, he's got rook on the rank, but the rook doesn't want to be here, actually. You know, you should, okay, you can bring it to e3, play f3, queen f2, g3, knight g2, and slowly rook f1 and slowly prepare f4.
Yeah.
Maybe bring back the bishop to d2 and then c3 and then prepare g3, f3, knight g2 and f4.
Okay.
Okay. So this can be a plan, but you shouldn't take on c6. So when you push it on c6, already I have a nice square for the knight here on e6,
yes,
and then to d4 or f4.
and your
Already,
light
as
square
long as
bishop is also starting to be a bit more happy.
yeah, yeah, and also as long as the game continues, the longer the game goes, the more chances I have. I mean, more I have hope,
Yes.
to win. So I wasn't blown away in the opening, and I'm in the game. B6, forcing B3, A6, kick him out. Rook A8, regrouping. C8, just waiting, regrouping, and Rook D7. Is my piece on this nice diagonal, nice long diagonal. And also the E6 square belongs to the knight, so the bishop is not really happy on E6. Yeah. So okay, so I'm just waiting for that counter blow. So here he makes another strange move, G4. And this shows a lot, it reveals quite a lot about the style of my opponent, that he's trying to break through. He plays very forcefully, and G4 is not the move you want. You want to be playing on the dark squares with your dark square bishop. You have two bishops, so maybe a way to play is rook d2, rook e2, okay, with the idea of bishop b2, g3, knight g2, and then f4.
Eventually, just trying to get those dark squares open for
Opening,
your dark
yeah,
square bishop.
opening the diagonal and opening the f file. So that was the correct plan. But my opponent doesn't think in the strategic manner.
Yes.
This is what I noticed. So okay, I bring my knight to e5 and e6.
Yeah, you've detected some weaknesses already now after your opponent's g4 business.
Yeah, 25. I'm exchanging. I'm just taking over the dark space. But maybe knight d4. And I'm not saying my games are without any mistakes. I'm also making mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm not maybe pointing them out. But okay, I think what I'm trying to, maybe I should just play queen c7 and be more patient, but I went knight d4 for some reason.
Kenny, we've got a question here in the chat box. MT is saying g4 to g5, trying to open up. So, I mean, I think that won't open up. Let's say, instead of that, let's say g5. But g5 not possible. The knight, let's go maybe of, when was g5 possible? Was g5 possible at some moment? Maybe g5 here? What would you do against something like that?
Okay,
He's
g5.
saying just trying to open up the dark squares on your king.
Yeah, g5 can be a good move because if I play h5, this g5 pawn is strong.
Okay, maybe f4 later on.
Yeah, if you take,
bishop
take,
takes,
and
yeah.
it comes with tempo. So let's say I play back to e6. Yeah.
Takes on h6.
Yeah, I'm playing for a win, so I'm gonna do something crazy like knight f6, knight h5,
knight f5, knight f4. Interesting
f4,
stuff.
yeah. Because I mean I can take, but I can do it later, maybe,
Yeah, and white is also going more how shall I say, committing a bit more, ruining the structure more. But interesting,
good, yeah.
Interesting idea though, MT. Interesting idea. He says when the knight was on f6, he says. But okay.
Okay.
When f6? Probably a bit earlier on. So, but I mean that's why Kenny played there. Yeah, that's why you played there immediately. So
yeah,
there was not a moment.
G5 here. Yeah, maybe G5 here. I go knight C5, and then you got queen F3 hitting F7. So this can be an idea. Okay, but I will come back, and the game continues.
Yeah, so definitely an option.
I mean, even if G5 is strong, I don't think it's putting problems. I mean, I don't see any change because now you also expose your H3 to bishop C8.
Yes, so it's double-edged.
Yeah,
that's what
you're
we don't
giving me
mind.
chances now. As you can see, white is starting to overreach. So now he plays F3. He wants to bring. He's becoming a bit complacent in his play now. He's playing plays G4, F3. So you can see he doesn't play those positions well. My opponent. Okay. So knight G2, queen T5, queen T3, knight D4. Okay.
And here we go.
Yeah. F4 was a good move, and now I'm under pressure again because I played maybe my knight D4 was inaccurate, and now he's back in the game. And now I go knight C6, but I'm happy because we're both running low on time. We both have some of the time, and that's what I was playing for.
Yes.
Rook F2. Maybe he could play F5. Maybe F5 was good. F5 could have been a good move. And I'll play Queen E7 and try to come and.
Probably gonna have to try Bishop C1 now.
Yeah, Bishop C1. Yeah, then I'll have to play G5.
G5
unfortunately.
It looks a bit.
G5 is not what I want to play.
And then white can maybe play F6 even if he really wants to. But
maybe Queen F8 is ugly. Yeah, G5 is forced. Yeah, white is just clearly better. Yeah, but okay, I have solid position. I shouldn't lose. I have knight B4. But okay, he's also playing for a win.
Yeah,
and that's what I was hoping for. So yeah, he didn't want to play that. So here was my chance, and I took on F4. So I was very happy when he played Rook F2.
Okay, because it seems like your opponent is piling the pieces towards the king side, and he wants to open up the position, and that's why I gave this game the name "Careful What You Wish For," because your opponent wants to open up.
Yeah, he opens up.
But what's gonna happen?
So it takes. Yeah, so we were both low on time.
Yes. So here's the moment. Kenny, would you allow the viewers maybe to to give it a think.
Okay.
So knight takes f4, and it seems like white is getting
Yeah.
what he wants. He's opened up
Yeah.
the f file. The rook is on f2. The knight is coming closer. Guys, any suggestions? Black to play. Kenny is in his element here again, guys. Must win situation. Fighting for the norm. And what to do? Been defending for quite a while here. Any suggestions from the viewers? Alt is suggesting d5. Alt is maybe on point. Anyone else?
Just a second. I'll just get this.
All right, sure. While we wait for Kenny, is there any other suggestions, guys?
Okay.
The People Spot says also suggesting d5. Looks like you guys are tactically sharp over here. Sounds like Kenny's just on the phone, so just he'll be back soon, guys. This one also says d5. Seems like the people has spoken.
To take it.
No problem,
Yeah.
Kenny, no problem.
Sorry.
So it seems like the people have spoken. Most of us is saying d5. King Oster is recommending f5, but everybody else.
F5 looks very dangerous. F5 because I open my king
and that
and
bishop
his
on
bishop is
b1.
just staring me down.
The bishop on b1 that's his life's
Yeah.
dream for you to
Yeah.
play f5 in that position.
Yeah.
So whoops, no, not b5. Sorry, I'm trying to click away the arrows here. Okay.
Yeah, d5 was played here.
So pawn to d5. Well done, guys, in the chat box. What's the idea, Kenny?
Yeah, I'm just opening up the position and
Knight is spun.
changing the character of play. And now it's time for action. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So
so this is my time. Yeah, my chance, because I have two nice diagonals here, and I have also these two files. You know. So, and also my knights are in the center. So
wow,
it's going to be a decisive result.
Activity.
Win or lose. There's no draw, draw in this position.
Yeah, no, now I can see what you mean with your description.
Okay, so as you can see, at going into this match, I had a strategy, and I tried to detect my opponent's weakness before the game, how he plays the middle game, and notice that he's very direct style of play. And players like that, you try to take them around. You play very long game, you maneuver, close the position, and the timing is a bit out, you know. So his timing was way out. You know, he didn't find the correct plan, and he doesn't have that patient maneuvering style of play. And it also wears him down. Sort of, you know, it wears your opponent down. You know?
Yes.
Because now he has to make a decision. What move is this? What move is this? Can I just check what move number is this?
You're on number 37, I think.
Move 37. Yeah. So we're very low on time and exhausted.
Yes.
And this is like round 8.
And yeah, Ibanator says d5 is brilliant move, but it takes courage. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it takes courage. Yeah, it's. I mean, also it's courage, and also because you in a must-win situation, you have to win and you have to do something. You cannot just sit around forever. You have to wait for that opening and counter. You know.
Nice.
So my strategy worked because okay, the result justifies. It shows that it works also, but try to. You know, okay. The thing is, it would have been nice if I played more accurately.
Yeah.
You know, but even I mean, the accuracy is important also, but also it's very important to. The main thing is to have a strategy for the entire game, not just the opening. With a lot of players, they just look at the opening. He plays this line and that line, and that's it. You know, you have to really try to figure out your opponent. You know, and I noticed that okay. He plays games last 20 moves, 30 moves, and draw or win, something like that, you know.
Yeah.
This player, he needs to play 100 moves, so let's keep him in the game, maneuver. Nice. And at this stage, his head is now probably, I managed to confuse him. Yeah. So now not only does he have to look at my king, he has to look at his own king.
Yeah,
You know. So
exactly.
I mean, I'm also staring at his king. It's just
Yes,
I've been waiting. When F4 when it came, take D5, and now I'm there. So
here we
for
go.
me, it doesn't matter even if white is clearly better here. The most important psychological thing here is that I managed to change the situation over the board
Yes,
and to turn the game. You know, now it's suddenly very double-edged and sharp, and suddenly has to calculate not just moving forward and attacking, but calculate defending as well. And that's not easy to do two things at the same time. You know? Okay, it takes
so he takes on
taking.
D5.
Yeah, maybe taking wasn't the best move. Maybe he could play Queen G3, and it's just clearly better.
Unpunning at least.
Yeah, and punning and keeping the tension.
And
But
now the rook
you
is
know,
hanging. Oh, but the E1 is still hanging.
when your time is running out, and you become emotional.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think I
so
think that's a huge psychological blow. Those moves D5 and the rook takes
yeah,
D5. It's just
yeah,
stirring up chaos.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
like it.
also it's very important how you make the moves. You
Yes.
some move you play quietly, and when you
No,
make a
the
move like
rook.
when you make like take when you play knight D4 D5, I made it with Vuma. You know,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that will that can shake your opponent. You know, it shakes him. That suddenly you start to doubt yourself. You know, maybe what I did was wrong. You
Yes.
know, just that phrase can already cloud your judgment.
I think
You
this is
know,
a big turning point now in the game.
yeah, yeah. So he takes, and he thought,
Okay.
okay, two bishops, two rooks, stronger than the queen. The materials even. He's got two rooks versus a queen, but
Yeah.
I have knights in the center. His king is open.
And the knight spin still
Two
on
knights with the queen is
F4 as
great.
well.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah. So I win knight b4. Okay, rook e4, and knight took on b3. Okay, I mean, maybe computer here still says winning for white or something, but
Okay.
we're not computers. We are human
Exactly.
beings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. I think Boris Gelfand there was an interview one time. Don't know if you know that one. After some game at the tournament, they asked Boris, "Okay, how do you feel about this game and this? You were winning, brilliant game, but how do you feel your opponent actually must have won a couple of moves ago, or you must have waited to actually not lose? The computer says this and that." And then Boris' replies was just, "Yeah, but I wasn't playing a computer." Because the whole game felt
Yeah.
like he was winning, but this commentator afterwards wanted to tell him, no, but your opponent had it. He's saying, but I wasn't playing a computer.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was not playing computer. You're playing human. We are human, and we are filled with emotions.
yes.
And it's a lot of psychology involved. And computers in seconds will say, winning for white. But show me you can find
You
the
need to
win.
sweat on the board. That's what
Yeah.
we need to do. But yeah, okay.
Okay.
So knight
So
takes b3,
so he went
bishop
bishop
b2.
bishop b2. I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to try and find the win. I went queen
Yeah.
c5 because I need to do something, because he wants to play knight takes g6 or something. Yeah, he wants to play bishop e5. Yeah, bishop e5 he wants to play.
Hmm.
To be honest, I don't know what's going on here.
Chaos.
And over the board, I didn't know, but I just know that okay, we are in time trouble, and it's double edge, and I have to find active moves.
Yes.
It's all pieces. It's an open position. I have long ranging pieces in forms of diagonals, queen and bishop. And if I don't know what to do, I have to attack a piece. So I went queen c5, rook on
F2 is
f2.
hanging. Yeah.
If he plays, okay, he went rook e2, because king g2, he ends up on the another diagonal. So he
Yes.
goes rook e2, and yeah, I took on d5. Yeah. So, and I remember we had increments here. Yeah. So,
Okay.
and maybe yeah, he made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, he went rook e8,
Threatening mate in one.
threatening mate in one. I went knight b4, covering it. He took on g6. He thought it was over.
Okay.
Uh,
Ooh, because of those ranks. Other rook may be
yeah,
coming down at some point.
yeah. I didn't see it. I
Aha.
didn't see the win. So if you don't see it, there's a chance your opponent also don't see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Took on d5. I saw this. I mean, I saw that when I play knight d4, g6, fg, knight takes d5. I saw this
You can
important
take
move,
the rook,
queen
can't you?
d6.
Ah, queen d6 check. Aha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the turning point, the intermediate move, and he missed this.
Oh, nice.
He missed us in the time trouble. We both were in increment, and he missed a shot, queen d6.
Because now if the king moves maybe on the light squares, you take the rook, and the knight's also okay. You can actually just take the knight.
Queen takes knight. Yeah.
I like that.
So this is how I won the.
Nice. Queen d6. You played the rook. Okay, but
game
what
of
about
queen
king
d6 check.
g1? There's knight
Not
e2 check.
not so easy, because when you calculate capture. Second.
All right. Yeah. So guys, we've gotten Kenny for a nice long time today.
So knight takes, I queen d6 check, rook e5, and I have check. Yeah.
Check, and then basically you just
on
lead him.
d5. Yeah, I just take on d5, and it's over, because now he can, even if he plays check here, I have king g8, check. I have king g7. Maybe he can move the king. Oh, I go king. Sorry, I go king. Yeah, he could play. Why he played h4? He could play check. But I have king g8, check. Yeah, I have king f7, because
F7
check I can take.
You just take the rook, yeah.
Yeah, I just take the rook, yeah. So I took, I went h4, g5, h5, and I take rook, and basically it's over.
Basically it's over, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's how I won the game.
Nice. So yeah, again, your opponent wanted to open things up, and then you just it's one thing again that I can just say is the way that you use psychology in all of these games, Ken. It's a real eye opener. And yes, I know you probably need to go. Sure, no problem. Guys, Kenny needs to juggle a few things there at home. We've gotten him for quite a bit of time. So yeah, we're close to the end, and yeah, I just wanted to read one comment here that kind of makes sense here as well in the chat box, Kenny. King also says, thanks, Kenny and Calvin. The practical examples of managing and following your strategy and natural human reactions is appreciated and very valuable. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up over there, King Ulster. Thanks. And yeah, Kenny, like I said earlier, like besides the actual moves that you played, just listening to the way you approached the game and the psychology of it, it's really something that everybody can take home. And even the way you prepare, like you said, some people just look at the opening moves and so on, but you really look at your opponent, study them, and what
you have to,
how they like to play. And even earlier, I like what you said, when your opponent saw you, maybe the setup that you choose or what you like to play, these type of things. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, what I try to do was just see where I have a chance against my opponent.
It's like they
all this. Yeah.
It's just a couple more minutes, Kenny. We're gonna let you go now. So
it's okay. It's okay. Sorry for.
No problem.
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that, and I wanted to read two more. There's final comments here in the chat box. Grey Old Wizard says, thank you, FM Calvin, for another great show. Thank you, GM Kenny, for sharing your games and all exceptional and valuable advice. Roland says, love how the GM gives an honest account of the game in the analysis. Yeah, I think the viewers thoroughly enjoyed it, Kenny. So, yeah, before I do my final thanks. Like I was saying, Kenny, before I say my final thanks, any final comments from you? We thoroughly enjoyed having you on the show, but any final comments from you? I know you need to go as well.
Okay. Now, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and yeah, I hope for all the viewers that they find something instructive. Maybe not just, you can always study chess at home. But what I tried to present was something different, And yeah, as Roland said, an honest account of the games, of my analysis, and basically share what I was thinking and feeling and what I was trying to do during the game. Because it's not just openings. Chess is not just openings. And it was Ellerkine who said, chess is not only, that was a comment he made before making that positional piece sacrifice on c7 in one of the famous games. So yeah. Um, so yeah, it was a. I think it's. I mean, I chose these games because it's basically it's. I'm not too proud of the quality of the games, to be honest, but it's how I made my first GM norm, and
Brilliant.
I know that there are players in South Africa who can make norms and have the capacity, the potential, and the talent to do it, and to show them, just to share also what it takes, and to show also that GMs they can be taken, and you have to how to size the moment. And what I did maybe to what did I do to, in the situation where you have to win on demand.
Yes.
And also after drawing this game, the next day I have the last round against another GM from Ukraine, and I had the white pieces, and I offered him a move, draw and move 10, which is the perfect time to offer a draw
Yeah.
because he realized that I maybe won 3 games in a row, and
Yes.
if he doesn't accept it, he can
Yes.
be in trouble for the last prize, because I came third in the tournament. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it's possible to make norms, but you have to look at not just the openings, but find the weak areas of your opponent's play, and have a strategy for the entire game. And yeah, that's what I was trying to share
Great
today.
stuff. Great stuff,
And yeah,
Kenny.
I hope to be back. I hope to be back.
we
And yeah,
we we are definitely gonna organize something to get you back on, Kenny. Thank you so much from my
okay.
side. Thanks from the viewers, Kenny. I can just ask you to hang around there for a second, because if you go, then my view is also gonna go away here on Zoom. I just
Okay.
want to
No,
say
no, I'm
two
staying. I'm
things,
staying.
but yeah, like you said, maybe the games weren't perfect, but I love it because I mean the GM norms are not gonna come for you. You must go and get them. So the way you
Yeah, you
did
have
it
to
was
create
was
them.
was brilliant, and I mean, just your nerves and everything. Not anybody can do it. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been brilliant having you on the show. So thanks so
And
much for taking
Galvan,
your
it's
time.
doable.
Thanks.
Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah,
Sorry for cutting you off, but you said not anyone can do it, but I think it's very doable. Yeah. It's just that sometimes you need someone who have experience to share this with you.
nice.
And yeah, I learned a lot of things the hard way.
Yes,
And yeah, and a lot of players don't need to have to learn the hard way. Yeah,
yes. So there you have it, guys.
yeah.
You heard from Kenny himself. Thanks so much, Kenny. Now I just want to read last comments, and then I want to just tell you guys what's happening next week on the show. So yeah. MT says that problem is learning. The problem is learning to be as disciplined as him. I think he's referring to you, Kenny. So discipline is important. Isvan says many thanks, GM Kenny. Dr. Queenie says Dr. Queenie is asking, when is your next tournament, Kenny? There's a
Oh,
question for you.
next year.
Next
Probably
year.
next year.
So you're not a specific
Yeah,
one in mind yet,
sometime
but
next
some
year.
all right.
No, no, nothing
And
in mind yet. No. Yes.
Hibernator says, great, GM, exclamation. Babiki says, thank you, GM Kenny. Definitely learned a lot. Hibernator says, amazing how you accomplished your goals by moving outside your comfort zone. I think that's very important. Thanks, Hibernator. So yeah, thanks everyone for your comments and questions. So just to show you guys, this coming Tuesday on Reflections, Kenny, by the way, was also on Reflections a couple of weeks ago. You can check that all out on YouTube. This coming Reflections, we've got a special guest from Mozambique. We've got Grandmaster Person Abrantes, one of my personal friends, a very nice guy. He will be joining us Tuesday, 7 p.m. on the Reflections. And then the Thursday, this coming Thursday, we have, remember, guys, we had an intro show of Paradigm Chess 30, and I believe Kenny will also at some point be joining us for online tournament or whatever the case may be. But Lorenzo and Craig already explained Paradigm Chess 30 a couple of weeks ago on this show as well. So what we have next, we've got a special guest that will be showing us a game that he has played in a social gathering of this new variant. And he'll be playing 2 Blitz games against me with this new variant, Paradigm Chess 30. Remember, with the Dragon Bishops. And it will be none other than I am Henry Steele, will be joining us Thursday evening, 7 p.m. And like I said, he will be analyzing one of his own Paradigm Chess 30 games he's played recently. And we're going to play 2 Dragon Bishop Blitz games. So don't miss out, guys. We've got an interesting show coming up Tuesday with Reflections, and Henry coming on Thursday for that lovely new variant we have. So yeah, that's all for me. We've got GM Kenny Solomon in the house, so thanks so much, Kenny, for joining us, and we
Thank you.
hopefully will get you on again at some point. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Kenny. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you.
See
Cheers.
you, man. Cheers, cheers.
Thank you, Calvin. See you next time.